Hello, hola y marhaba. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is your host, Cobra Dude Diego. Today we're going to be doing the first of hopefully many videos of painting the Stark attachment box that just came out a few months ago, which feels like forever ago. This box I was not as happy with as I was with the Baratheons, but because the Starks have a special place in my heart because it was the first faction I got into when I played this game, or when I started playing this game, I'm going to try to give it the love and attention that I did with my Baratheons. So with that, the first one we're going to do is the Chad Umbers, or the Umber Berserkers, or Umber Champions, or whatever the heck they're called. Umber Champions. And the fact of the matter is that this was a really fun model to paint, and I'm really excited to do it, and it's going to be fun to go through it. Also, we're going to do a different type of video. This time, when I painted them, I didn't actually do commentary. I'm actually going to be doing the commentary as I'm painting, watching the video. So it's going to be a little bit more fluid, hopefully, and be a little bit more, less awkward pauses and weirdness with the camera, so I'm not doing multiple things at one time. I think that's going to be very helpful for us, and that's what's going to help make me better at making these videos. As always, remember to share, like, and subscribe. So here we have the model already primed and ready to go, which is super exciting. So this model is actually just a resculpt of the original Umber Champion. And frankly, I actually like this one a little bit better because he's more of these more dynamic poses that you've been seeing from these box sets, which is really cool. And so the first thing we're going to start off with is the red on his overcoat, or the most of it is going to be, as always, contrast Blood Angel red. And so we're going to just go through that and paint the bulk of the model with that red. Don't be too worried if you get pieces that shouldn't have been red, that should be more of a brown or a black. Because of the brown and black that we will be using, there will be times for you to actually shade them out, or, have a different effect on it. And so we're going to just go through all of this right here and paint through to make sure that that is taken care of. So here I'm going to speed up some of these parts of the red, and during different segments I'm going to try to break it up by the different colors that we use, so then it's easier for the folks who are watching to try, if they want to use the same paint scheme as I am, to do that. Here, as you can see, we're just going through and making sure that all the outwardly rayed things are being painted and taken care of. And again, trying to make sure that, of course, like, if you mess up, don't worry, it's going to be okay, you're going to be fine. Something that I have to tell myself all the time. But at the end of the day, you're supposed to be painting to make yourself happy. And, like me, I get a lot of joy of having a fully painted army. So I think it is good for us to be able to see the mistakes and carry on. And remember, like, other folks have said, and I say all the time, don't be paralyzed by your analysis, and just make sure that you're painting and, have fun with it, because I guarantee you that you are making improvement. So now we're going to be working on the sleeves and the cloak. So for the sleeves and for some of the other stuff, I've used my favorite brown, which is Wyldwood Brown. It's a contrast paint. It looks darker than a normal brown like Guiliman's Flesh that I've also liked to use for leather and other things. This one is more when you want it to be more pronounced and stick out, and it's also a really good color for wood. Or if you really want your characters to have some earthiness to them, I highly suggest Wyldwood Brown. For the cloak, we are using uh, Basilicanum. I'm so sorry. Uh, Basilicanum Grey. I will write it down in the description. It looks like a black, but it actually turns out to be more of a gray. It's like a salt and pepper kind of thing. It's really cool to put for furs and for other things like that. Like as you're seeing, I used the wrong brush for this one, so then I have to change to use the right brush, which is this is where you would want to use one of these like stronger brushes that are more together but it's smaller. I forgot which one it's called. There you go. You could see it right there. That one helps paint it and get it nice in all the nooks and crannies in there. And again, this is one of those things where, more is more, and it's always better to put more on this than less because you don't want to have all these spots not there and everything like that. I think that also remember that we are going to shade this down a little bit to make sure that it pops a lot better. I'm a big fan of shading personally. In both life and painting. So I think we're gonna have, I'm always gonna tell people that using a shade is always the best decision for you. And now for the boots, we're gonna use black Templar black. And for the pants of the Umber, we're gonna use again Wyldwood Brown. Again, just for the contrast of both, they're both really dark colors, but I really do like black leather boots on these guys, even though it most likely would probably just be your run of the mill brown. But this is my fantasy army, so I'll do whatever I want. So this is where we would have this part where it's a little bit more trickier and that you might find yourself like a little worried that you might have some stray marks or whatnot. But don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. We're going to be fine. We're going to get through it. And, just paint and have fun doing it. And, as you can see that there's some parts that I missed while I was doing the reds that I have to do it over. And I tend to do those little corrections off camera. I just like to make sure that I have the bulk of the model painted. Oh no, never mind. I actually tried to paint it here. So this is one of those things where these models can get very intricate, and I've always said that this is mostly my videos are for the folks that are just trying to get their stuff painted, so it's painted on the field. You don't have to do that, but if you're like me and like to have your army painted, this is a channel for you. So now here we're going to use for the silver for the metal of the one knee pad that this guy has because everyone knows that Umbers are all about safety. So he's got a silver knee pad, and then also for the axes that are gonna look even cooler. So this is where you could get really cool, and yeah, see, you just use your two thin coats and all that good stuff, and that's what you do for those things right there. It's a little bit better because they're out in the open, so you don't have to be worrying too much about stray marks and everything like that. So here we find ourselves on the last stretch of this model after the all the metal has been painted. So now we're gonna just do the little loose ends that we have. Again, we're gonna use black Templar black for the gloves, um, and Wyldwood Brown for contrast Wyldwood Brown for the wood on the axes, for the handles, and for the leather on the white spots that you're seeing. That's Guiliman flesh tone, which we're also going to be using for the face. The cool thing that we will be also doing is for the hair we will be also using black contrast paint. And so with that, and then after that, I don't do this on camera, but I put the shade and then put base paint, base texture paint on the base to make it have that snowy effect that, as you all know, I love for my Starks. And so with this, I'm gonna put the rest of this into fast so you can see this in quick time. And here's the final project. I know it's a little far away, but I couldn't get that close without ruining the pixels. But thank you for joining me, and remember to like, share, and subscribe.